Hello there, Pisces. Can we focus right now? Okay. How are you? Welcome to your 2025 year ahead reading. I wasn't telling you to focus, but maybe I should. Would you like to focus now, Pisces? No, just kidding. This is going to be a look at 2025 for your sign, and it's going to be a huge year for you. I can tell you that right before I even start pulling cards, because the North Node of your purpose, your destiny, your mission moves into the sign of Pisces this January and stays in your sign for the entire year of 2025. So at some point over the next 18 months approximately from January, the North Node will cross over your Pisces placements, be that your sun, your rising, your moon, anything you have in Pisces, Mercury, Venus, you name it, okay? Some of you might even be having a nodal return if you have natal North Node in Pisces. But basically what this means is, Pisces, you're about to step into a leadership role or a more authentic version of yourself, a more masterful version of yourself. You're about to really get to know yourself more and amplify. The North Node seems to amplify what it touches. And this sense of yourself, what you want to do, your mission and your purpose is being amplified into the world around you, okay? Let's start this tarot reading by pulling a card for each month of the year. You know what? Let me start it out in another way. I usually do a pretty standard year ahead reading for each sign here on YouTube. They're one of my favorite types of readings to do, actually. But this year I want to try something a little different. Before pulling 12 cards to represent each month of 2025 for you, I want to just take a little bit of a bird's eye view here by pulling 3 cards for the sign of Pisces. What does the year 2025 mean overall for you? Kind of from like a higher vantage point or a more kind of mythic arc of your year. What does 2025 have in store for Pisces? Okay, so we have the 4 of Wands, which is a really, which really is a lot about stability actually, but this card looks to be around an opening, maybe home ownership, maybe starting a company, building a company, something very stable. And the Queen of Coins is also very much about thriving, healthy body, healthy mind, healthy bank balance this year, Pisces. Judgment card. Well, if you remember, and if this is not your first time watching, your 2024 year ahead reading, the last card I pulled, which would have been for like this month, December 2024, was Judgment. So this is a major arcana energy. It's the flavor of transformation, of awakening and reckoning. This is about, in some way, being reborn. You can see these beings are being raised from the dead. Why? This is, it's not focused. Let me just work on this for 1 second, Pisces. The tech, not so tech savvy over here. Okay, I think that might be better. So now that I've pulled 3 cards as a kind of like bird's eye view of what lays ahead for you this year, it will be interesting to see if these cards come up in the 12 card spread that I'm about to do. Okay, but overall, Pisces, your focus in 2025 is on building something for yourself, building something to last, building something that is very much rooted and centered in a pillar of integrity. And the decisions you make and what grows from you this year as the North Node transits through the sign of Pisces is very much rooted in truth, integrity, and your well-being. So you make moves, you make decisions, and you build from a place of integrity, honesty, kindness. And because of that judgment that follows your actions, the consequences is favorable. It amplifies your awakening. It amplifies your ability to really grow something. I see that you're growing something this year. Some of you are growing a business. Some of you are growing food. Some of you are growing a new life for yourself. There's a doorway here and pillars either side. It represents a portal, okay? And your Queen of Coins is all about like the resources you have to do this, to grow this, to build this, to expand on this. And then the spiritual, kind of more soulful, evolutionary card or message that comes through for you this year is Judgment. Judgment is totally about a facing of a fear, a rebirth, an awareness, and your eyes being opened to how possible it is for you to have it all. Okay? So now let's start pulling cards for your year ahead, and we'll take it month by month, okay? All right, I just hear my cat Luna running around. She's trying to get my attention to chase her around the apartment, I think. But it'll have to wait, Luna. Okay, now Pisces, let's look at what's coming through for you. 6 cards first for January, February, March, April, May, and June of 2025, please. Would it be true to say that there is a focus on establishing roots, laying down roots, establishing gains, something to do with food, land, family, property, legacy? Would that be true? So we're opening the month of January with the 7 of Wands. February, we've got King of Coins. Well, that's nice to see complementing the Queen of Coins, because it tells me that partnership, aligned partnership, is very important to you this year. The 5 of Wands, so 7 of Wands and 5 of Wands. The first season seems to be a lot about your strength and a test of your might, and I suppose kind of like about establishing a sense of like outward manifestation, like you being seen, you operating things. Anyway, let's go further. April is the Tower, Major Arcana in reverse. So April is a turnstile month of the year where you pivot and reroute or detour into another scene. It's almost like we're watching a play of your life this year, Pisces, and Act 1, or it's like Act 1, Scene 1, 2, and 3 have a similar quality, and then all of a sudden we shift into something pretty different. Come May, we have another Major Arcana and the Star card. Would you believe that in the numeric sequence of the tarot, the Tower comes as number 16 and the Star follows as number 17. So after what seems like a destabilizing or change-oriented energy in April comes this very healing, restorative and tempering energy of the Star card in May. Then we have got the Knight of Coins to end this first half of the year. So we're dealing with a lot of fire and earth elementally at the beginning of the year, or the first half of the year. You could say even we had fire and earth in the 3-card pull at the start. Judgment is also associated with fire in a sense. So fire is about taking action, following a lead, following a goal, determination. And earth is about grounding all of that into reality and watching how that can grow and sustain and continue for you. Now let's have a look at the second half of the year, Pisces. July, August, September, October, November, December for you. July, the 10 of Wands coming through in reverse. our first sword card, and we have the 5 of Swords. July, August, September, we've got the 8 of Cups. First cup card, okay. The Lovers actually coming through now in October. And November, 2 of Swords, reversed. To end this year with the final card of the deck. How perfect, how divinely timed, and how just Piscean this really is. Pisces, you rule endings. Pisces, you rule the cosmic oceans where everything returns to and everything is healed in, and you do rule those karmic endings, and the World card is the last card of the deck. Something is completing for you this year, coming to culmination. It's part of a really big cycle of your evolutionary growth, and I'm sure I'll have to clear up a couple of these major arcana cards at least to flesh them out and go a little deeper. But you're here at the bottom of the deck in the Queen of Cups, here telling me with the 8 of Wands underneath that right now, as you watch this, it's a little bit more present energy. You are on the precipice, you are on the threshold of really soaring and breaking free, flying away somewhere, flying high. I guess feeling very free and liberated. Let's break this down now, Pisces. So you start the year of 2025 with this 7 of Wands. And I just really want to make sure you're seeing these cards okay. That seems to be focused, right? I hope so. The 7 of Wands. Okay, so backed into a corner, right? It's like everybody, or certain people, don't seem to be respecting your personal space, your boundaries, your limitations. So everybody wants a piece of you on some level. Everybody wants to have access to you in January, whether that's your clients, whether it's families, in-laws, whether it's the demands of your job or your personal responsibilities and obligations, or pressure you're putting on yourself. However, I get the impression it comes from external sources. The thing that you can focus on in January to maximize your peace of mind and peace in your heart and soul is to figure out what it is you stand for and where your non-negotiables lie. Once you can do that, you're really in that Queen of Pentacles or Queen of Coins that we saw in our first 3 cards, where no matter what you do, you have no regrets because you're operating from a place of your principles and you align action with your values. So there is no inner turmoil created. Yeah, you might bother other people because they're not particularly happy with these boundaries or with this honoring of your personal space. So that's something to be aware of. In terms of what you're focused and what you're motivated towards, we've got Mars here. Mars in Leo. Okay, so in January, the month of January does begin with Mars in the sign of Leo. And this actually ties in with the astrology. So let me just tell you when Mars, symbolized here, will be in Leo this year. It's currently in Leo as I record, and it will be in Leo up until the 6th of January. Mars will retrograde back to the sign of Cancer, but will return to Leo for mid-April all the way through May into June. Okay, that's interesting. So April, May, and June of 2025 are linked to the efforts that you make in January of 2025. So the foundation, the efforts, the focus, the striving for in January plays out and completes or is added to or enhanced in April, May, and June. Your focus is back there again, but something about January is very much linked to April, May, and June. All right, so we'll get there as we go. The King of Coins coming through now in the month of February. Well, talk about abundance. So February is a month where I guess whatever your resources, what they look like now, for instance, be it the time that you have, be it the allies or skills that you have, or if it's just money and income, your investments, let's say, these do look like they're a little bit more of like bigger investments or something that's more long term or something you've been waiting on. February might be a month where that's paying out or paying off in a bigger way. So with King energy, I spoke about this being like more of a noticeable first season of 2025, like you're being seen, noticed. I mean, with the King energy, you might actually know a person, or there might be a person coming into your life in February that really exemplifies somebody very stable, somebody generous and dependable that really helps you navigate your reality in February. So that's something to watch out for and be aware of, and it seems really helpful and supportive. But it seems like, you know, bigger, more chunky, more helpful resources are available to you in February. So this looks like a good time, maybe that you're getting a raise, or maybe that's something that's been tied up in bonds is being released for you in some way, or you're just getting approval on a loan. Maybe, you know, you've got more time to work on that side hustle or start your business. Maybe you have more time and flexibility and allies that, you know, partnership might be coming through. Partnership, your skill set, it's just all being amplified, and there's a real honor about what you're doing, Pisces. So I mean, it actually comes with the territory that you're like this kind of, I mean, you're always valuable, you were born valuable and worthy, full stop, I know that, but something about February makes you really aware of this and how valuable it is that you're doing this, and it's worthy, and it comes from a great place, and it's not something that's flash in the pan. You're really thinking about something lasting here. Anyway, the 5 of Wands in the month of March. Okay, March is a big month for you, Pisces, because, well, Saturn and Neptune will be in Pisces. They are now, and they will still be in Pisces in March. The North Node, though, will be there. The Sun will be there, and the eclipse on the Is it the 7th of March? No. It's the 14th of March. There is a eclipse around then anyway. Yeah. And yeah, check. And that really spices things up for you, okay? The pressure is on now, Pisces, and you like it because it helps you fight for this. It helps you show your strength, and it helps for you to assert yourself. So you really do want to make your stake known in March, and the stakes are high in March. There's a lot going on in your sign. There is a lot of focus, and you know, there's going to be Venus there too, and Venus is going to be kind of dancing between Pisces and Aries around, you know, February, March and April. So there's a Venus retrograde in Aries then, you know, so I feel like there is a lot of busyness in the Pisces part of your chart. So depending on what your rising sign is, which is essentially house 1 if you use whole sign houses, or it's that where the rising is, that starts the chain reaction of where your houses are in your chart. And once you get to Pisces from wherever your rising sign is, or maybe you are Pisces rising, well, that's the area of life that that house represents, where there's going to be a lot of action. So March is action packed. You might be facing competition, you might be having tiffs, you might be disagreeing, you might have to really assert yourself or stand up for yourself. And I think that if you have found yourself standing up for yourself in January, I mean, you really have to double down on that in March. Wherever you were focused in January, in March you have to double down on your efforts, because there are others coming out of the woodwork now to show you that they want what you want. And because of that, you have to kind of like prove yourself to yourself mainly, but also you want to like stand out. You want people to know what you're about, okay? Your authenticity this year is one of those really, really valuable currencies, personal currencies that you're working with. Does that make any sense? Let's probably clear up this Tower in reversal here, because it's a major arcana, so it really could be a number of things. In the reversal, the Tower, we know the Tower, it's like shocking or destabilizing, and all of a sudden, this thing happened, I wasn't expecting it, and everything was crumbling. In the reversal, it's actually quite different. Sometimes it can be destabilizing, sometimes it can still be surprising or unexpected. However, there's less of an unexpected flavor. Even if something is changing, even if something is breaking down to be built anew, with the reversal, it brings around your internalize it. It's more internal than it is external. So you could see this coming. You could intuit this coming. You understand it. This change, while it might seem like a crisis on the surface for some, or while it might seem shocking, you are very much able to understand it, and the internal kind of quality of the Tower reversing almost seems to be like you having a part to play in this, or you like being aware or being able to see this unfold, which I guess forewarned, forearmed. It's not taking you in by a surprise in the same way as it would be upright. What comes through with that? The Three of Pentacles. If anything, threes are always about growth in tarot. If anything, the Tower in reverse is inspiring growth in you, endurance, a desire to continue to push forward. The Three of Pentacles with this mountain in the background, some of you might be doing that. You know, some of you might have been training. January, the King of Coins is also very strong. January, February, March for some sort of a climb, be it a metaphoric mountain or literal, some sort of a test of endurance and stamina, and you really are rolling up your sleeves in the first season of the month to test your mettle and physically even do something quite enormous or rewarding. Really, with the mountain here, there is a reward coming in April. The more you surrender to the change and what's out of your control in April, the more rewarding this will feel, and the lighter this climb to the top of the mountain that is coming up in April is going to be for you. You'll feel lighter on your feet. You'll feel more supported. Your headspace will be different. Your mindset is about victory and about enjoying the journey despite any kind of like rolling with the punches that might come up in April. Okay, it changes you. April changes you for the better. The Star card coming through in May tells me you're fortified very soon after that. I probably should have covered that Star card woman's upper body. I don't know if YouTube appreciates that, but what's coming through with the Star card in May? Something to do with the goal is initiated in May, and something like the Sun card. Beautiful. So we've got the Star and the Sun. This is very illuminating. This is very bright and hopeful, very energizing. This is warm. Okay, Star card and the Sun, they're two of the most positive cards in the deck. The fact that they're coming out together in May, well, it tells me that May is going to be one of the most positive months of the year for you, Pisces. So this is about a blessing. This is about a goal. This is about a dream. And this is about it all working out and no obstacles, just you surrendering in April and you accepting that, you know, you're going to make the best of this situation, or you're going to just continue to climb the mountain ahead of you despite things changing. You actually, it's almost like, why do I want to say, like you're becoming the mountain? But anyway, the Star card and the Sun card, some of you might have this goal now that is really being activated in May, and then come June in the Knight of Coins, you're taking a lot of action towards making this happen. So you're really achieving something in May, even if it's just the imagination. I don't know what I'm doing here, but even if it's just the imagination here being like activated, I feel like you take some really concrete steps towards this in June. The Knight of Coins is all about, you know, a methodical approach. Slow and steady wins the race. It's due diligence. It's perfection. It's taking things slow, but it's making progress. It's also ambition. So whatever dream awakens you from your slumber, or from having to fight for this so hard, or having to win at competition, or having to advocate for yourself or state your boundaries. Something comes to crescendo in April where you clear away a lot of what all that hassle, even though, like, I say hassle as if it's a bad thing, the hectic energy of January, February and March is actually really fueling you. It's enjoyable in a way. It helps you manifest something and make something really stable, and it helps you gain some sort of a huge return. And then April, it's almost like whatever's been a waste of time and energy needs to be eliminated, so you can focus clearly on the true destination, the mountain, the true challenge that's worth facing. And then in May, a whole dream appears to you that it's now really real for you, and you can see how you could activate this huge goal, dream, wish in a really positive way, and then straight away you want to take some sort of an action step towards it. The Knight of Coins doesn't move all that fast, so straight away you might want to start slowly. Right away you might want to just do something about it, research, find the class, find the date of the meeting, schedule this, or start researching. Or some of you are going to like be sending out your applications, or some of you are just like, you know, real psyched and real pumped up to start this out. Then in June, the 10 of Wands is in reversal, and I do think June, July and August are linked with the 10 of Wands, the 5 of Swords and the 8 of Cups. You have to basically figure out what it is in this part of the year, during July, August, September, that really you've got to move on from, let go or surrender to. So something or somebody is going to appear between July and August, where you can see how you've been taken advantage of. The 10 of Wands upright is about that kind of like oppressive and sometimes like back-breaking energy. In the reversal, it can be much more extreme, where there is you've been so strong, I can see that. And I mean, that doesn't mean that this is healthy, Pisces. So even though you've been able to endure this, it doesn't mean that you should. And even though, you know, the intentions of what's been going on, the intentions of others, or the intention of why you even got caught up in this in the first place might not have been anything more than, you know, playful, misguided. I think that this 5 of Swords, this person in the background, kind of for some reason reminds me of I think it's like a lost boy energy, like from Peter Pan, right? So a refusal, a denial, an unwillingness to see reality. There's the escapism that comes up in the shadow of Pisces, right? Here's Saturn in Pisces, the 8 of Cups, the kind of wanting to just walk away, to run away, to abandon everything that we've worked for or been part of, be that, you know, our goals, our relationships, reality itself. And there is a whole bunch of that coming through. There is like a desire not to face this. There is a wish or a hope that you could just ignore this, but then there's a mounting pressure for you to seek the truth of this, and again of your involvement. And in July, August and September, it's kind of a period of facing up to what has not been healthy, where you've been exploited or exploited others, where you've been entitled to other people's energy, or other people have taken too much from you. Wherever that balance has been off, it comes to a head, and it's not the most pleasant. Especially in August, you can really see how you've been kidding yourself, or where you've been playing games with others potentially, or where you've been partaking in some sort of nonsense, really. The 5 of Swords is about a trick or a joke, and the joke might be on you this August, Pisces. So be aware, in July you're going to be having messages or signs or interpretations come through. Where do you feel completely drained? Where do you feel taken advantage of? Where is this not fair? Where is this not suitable? And at the end of the day, like, you feel exhausted, or, you know, something is taking up space in your head rent free. These are all clues as to what this kind of unpleasant turn of the year might look like in Five of Swords energy, okay, in August. And by September, you get it, you understand, and there is a moving on from it. This isn't something that's like a long lasting ramification, at least for most of you. It's more so just something that is going to test you this year. And in September, I really see you kind of like moving on in a way that you feel dignified. And I think that this is like this kind of like Judgment card energy we saw in the 3 cards that came up at the beginning. As long as you operate in integrity, the 5 of Swords often speaks to mistakes and regrets. And we often can beat ourselves up and say, I made a big mistake, or I messed up, like that's such a regret. If you're acting in the Queen of Coins energy that we saw at the beginning of this reading, what you build in that 4 of Wands, what you make stable in the world, what you build to last, or what you grow, is coming from a place of authenticity. Even if people don't love it, even if it's not everyone's taste, you're never going to regret the way you brought that forward or brought that into the world. Judgment card, this is about soul searching. So is Judgment card. The 8 of Cups is about knowing that when it's time to leave the fair, knowing when it's time to move on, when it's time to let go, when it's time to surrender to something beyond yourself. And Judgment card is there, the moon here in the background. Well, I'll tell you what, there's another eclipse coming up in Pisces in September. And, you know, anything that was left messy from March, anything that was unhealthy or disingenuous in March, you're ready and willing to move on from it in the other eclipse in Pisces on the 17th of September. No, that was the Pisces eclipse this year. I'm tripping. Let me see. The 7th of September is the Pisces eclipse. There is no eclipse in Pisces in March. There's an eclipse in Virgo and Libra. No, Virgo and Aries in March, but the eclipses are in the Pisces-Virgo axis. But the Pisces eclipse this year, my bad, I'm glad that I checked that, is 7th of September. So, yeah, around the end of August into early September, a pivotal change occurs for you, and you know you need to walk away from this. The game has been played for too long. It's been tit for tat. You get where each other's kind of like Achilles heel is, and you understand each other's weaknesses and how to target them. But is that the right thing to do? And are you kind of over that game? What am I doing? I want to clear up the Lovers card, and this is for the month of October. You're actually the first sign that I've read for these kind of year ahead readings, and I guess I'm just a little bit rusty. It's been a year since I've done these for YouTube, but I want to probably take a minute to say, Pisces, if you like this reading, of course, I would really appreciate if you would exchange your energy with me by liking or subscribing, and maybe leave me a comment. And if you want a more detailed or deeper reading for yourself, your sign, I'll link below where you can find a Pisces reading for December 2024 and January 2025, where we go into a little bit more detail, or let's say a lot more detail. And I'll link that down below. All right, now I want to clear up this Lovers card for October. I mean, lovers, right? We're talking about romance. We're talking about romantic love, sensuality, pleasure, enjoying the 5 senses. I see candles lit here. Some of you are going to be doing something like making a candle or involving fragrances or something like that. But the Justice card coming through, well, this is the card associated with Libra. October is Libra season, and Libra is associated with relationships, not just romantic relationships, also partnerships and marriages. Of course, that can be romantic. Not always, business dealings and things like that. Okay, so something about your partnerships, relationships, is paying off for you in the month of October. For anyone who feels like they're in some sort of a contract or agreement with another where there is a vow, promise, or a commitment involved, it really pays off. The fruits of your labor are on display, and you really feel proud of how you've worked together, how you've grown together, and how you've evolved on this journey side by side with commitment, honoring the other person's in need for individuality while compromising and including and merging with another. It's been a beautiful cycle of growth, and I think that speaks to somebody who by October is in a committed partnership of some sort, marriage, romance, business partnership, or some sort of a living situation, something domestic. Okay, for those of you who are not in a relationship and October rolls around and you're single and looking, or you're in more so of something that might be a little bit less committed, well, either you're meeting somebody who, let's just say there is a contract involved here, some sort of a karmic contract. It's probably a soulmate, and that doesn't have to come up in a romantic sense. This could be a teacher, it could be a neighbor, it could be somebody in your community, or somebody that you do have a love in your heart for by the end of this entanglement. So if you're looking for love, October is a time where a person you meet is, it's really going to matter to you. It's really going to mean something to you. It's going to be somebody you were almost destined to meet. And there is a karmic signature here for some, and that's not a bad thing. Almost everything is karmic, right? Almost everything has a flavor of there being a blessing or a lesson or a purpose for this relationship to unfold. But deepening commitment and all of those things like marriage, like meeting somebody, like falling in love. Yeah, I feel like that's a really beautiful time of the year for any blessings that you and your person are looking for, or maybe just an honor and celebration of the love that you have. Now we're looking at November. So November is the Two of Swords in reversal. Okay, so that's great because we end the year with the World card. And I will clear this up because it's a major arcana card. It's the major arcana card because it is the culmination. It's the final card of the deck. So as you approach December, you've left no stone unturned this year, Pisces. You are graduating with flying colors, first class honors, and you are just tying that all up in a bow. There is a combination of all the elements here. I can see that in this World card. So everything has been encompassed. It almost looks like a compass in the middle of this World card, but you've got all the elements here. Everything has been brought full circle. Everything has been touched on. Your personal life, your loves, your emotions, your passions, your inner world, your money, your legacy, your achievements, your motivations, and all of the things that you think of, and your consciousness. Everything has been touched on. The happy, the sad, the good, the bad. Let's just say that. In November, there is a final stone to turn, the Two of Swords in reverse. Upright, we can see that this represents some sort of a turmoil or indecision, and in the reversal, it actually speaks to becoming clear on that and breaking through that stone that's left turned, essentially. So you're about to make a final decision on something in November, and then wrapping up this reading now with the World card. I'll just let you know that I want to clear it up and say that whatever you decide upon in November had been something that had been niggling in the back of your psyche for a while, that had been hard to make a decision on, and it was the last thing that I guess you had to say either yes or no to, and almost stop being a fence sitter on it, if I'm honest about that. Like, you've been turning a blind eye, and it's the one thing that has left the story not being able to close out in a successful way like it does in December. So let's pull our final card and speak to what December has in store. Beautiful, the Strength card. So you make an enormous achievement in December, and it's fueling a lot of confidence in you and people looking up to you, and wondering, you know, what your secret is. So maybe you feel like sharing that, okay? Thank you so much for watching your 2025 year ahead reading. It was a pleasure to read for you, and I will see you again soon.